Busting myths about anxiety. This is an interesting subject because there are quite a few myths around anxiety that are circulating. And today we're going to tackle them and we're going to find out whether they are true or false. So the first myth is anxiety is not a normal part of life. Well, that is definitely not true because everybody experiences anxiety. It motivates us to get out of the way of a speeding car, for example, and it also can help us to perform at our best. If we're a little anxious, we're really focused when we have to, do a speech or something like that. We also have positive anxiety, which is also called excitement. Did you know that the physical symptoms are actually the same? However, if you experience worry and fear in a more severe way, and if it's long lasting in a way that it interferes with your life, you might have actually an anxiety disorder. So seeing a psychologist or psychiatrist in this case, I would definitely recommend that. Myth number 2, avoiding anxiety-provoking situations is helpful. Well, if you encounter a snake, it is useful to avoid getting close. However, if you start avoiding things because you perceive a threat, like being judged, or a place where you had a bad experience, it actually strengthens the anxiety because you start to see these situations as completely overwhelming. You can be anxious and still do whatever you need to do. So this myth is false. It's not helpful to avoid anxiety-provoking situations. Myth number 3, the only people who get anxiety are those who are naturally nervous. Well, again, that's false because anyone can experience anxiety. It's a natural thing. Anxiety disorders are the result of complicated interactions between genes and personal experiences. So it gets a bit more complicated when it goes into the realm of anxiety disorders. However, anyone can experience anxiety. So this myth is false. Myth number 4, if you have one panic attack, you'll keep having them for the rest of your life. Well, no. However, if you have regular panic attacks, you should explore treatment for a panic disorder. It's important to remember that while panic attacks are very unpleasant, they're actually not dangerous. And by learning not to fear the symptoms, you are actually reducing the likelihood of experiencing further episodes. Myth number 5, carrying around a brown paper bag that you can hyperventilate into helps manage anxiety. Well, that's false. Actually, if you carry a brown paper bag, it reminds you that you are anxious about being anxious and enforces the belief that you cannot cope without it. So you kind of feel like it's helping, but it really isn't. Hyperventilating is uncomfortable, but again, it's not dangerous. We all hyperventilate after exercise, for example. Carrying a paper bag is a safety behavior which we cling to, and it really does not address the actual problem. So something to keep in mind. Myth number 6, someone with anxiety just needs a stiff drink and they'll be all right. Well, that's quite an Australian thing to say, is it not? But it's false. Although it's quite enjoyable for some people to, from time to time to have a stiff drink, it's never a cure for anything. It can be tempting and it's a distraction from unpleasant symptoms, obviously, of anxiety. However, it is a huge risk that you might start to rely on alcohol to feel better. If you turn to alcohol on a regular basis to ease discomfort, you might start to need it to function, and you could end up with alcohol dependence on top of your anxiety. So alcohol is a depressant, which means it will not help your mood in the long run and may potentially contribute to a depressive episode. So I would, definitely say this is false. You don't just need a stiff drink. You will not be all right. Myth number 7. People who have anxiety just need to relax. Well, no. Although a relaxation can be part of the treatment plan, it also has to happen in combination with other self-help strategies and other treatment options. So it is advisable, to go see a psychologist or psychiatrist if you have anxiety that interferes with your life. And if you've tried relaxation and meditation and that hasn't quite eliminated the problem, then it is definitely good to seek help and use other strategies as well. But it's definitely false that you only have to relax to overcome your anxiety. Myth number 8. It can take a lifetime to see results from treatment for anxiety. Well, depending on your situation, you could start to see results in just a few sessions with a psychologist or psychiatrist. Regardless of how long it takes, it's always advisable to keep working on it because symptoms of anxiety can be managed. So there you have it. We've busted all the myths about anxiety. Maybe there are more. Let me know if you got any thoughts on this, and also if there's anything about anxiety that would be of interest that I can talk about next time. Thanks for listening.